All right, hello everyone. How is everybody today? Hope you are having a wonderful week. Did you guys all see our new video out on YouTube? You guys, if you haven't, make sure you check out that new video. We have got our new video all about our Black Friday sale. So make sure if you haven't seen it, check it out. If you have seen it, let me know in the chat. What are you guys most excited about? Because I am really excited about actually a lot of things with our new Black Friday sale. But today I'm going to be showing you a couple of the things that you may have seen or heard about on the video. And let's see here. All we're going to do right now, we're going to just go ahead and start shaping up our nails. We're going to be working with our full cover tips today because I do want to show you our new tip. I have to stop and think what it's called. Let me grab it here a second. We're going to be working with our new Tip and Jewel Thin Adhesive Gel. So it's kind of a mouthful, but you guys, it is an amazing product. And I think if you loved our original, our just regular Tip and Jewel adhesive, that was a thicker product. This one, I think you are absolutely going to love because it's a little thinner, a little different to use, but a little different techniques. So I want to make sure to be able to show you guys those today. So yes, you guys, welcome in, welcome everybody. Love to see you guys all in the chat here. If you are new, welcome in. If you've been with us for a while, welcome back. Thank you guys all for joining us. So again, I'm just going to start by shortening up those natural nails here, giving them a quick little shape, and then let's go ahead and get into our prep. Now, another new tool that I'm going to show you guys today is our new electric file. So I'm going to show you, this is the handpiece. It's brand new. I'm absolutely in love with it. Let me show you the actual desktop setup. So you guys can see on the screen here, it looks like the numbers are flashing. They don't actually flash in real life, but on the camera, for some reason, it does do that. But the thing that I really want to show you, I think you guys, there you can see how it's got the little foot option? We now have a foot pedal. Let me untangle my cords here. We now have a foot pedal. So when you press the foot pedal, oops, let me make sure I have it on the right setting. When you press the foot pedal, it will actually turn on your hand piece. So those of you that love that foot pedal option, we now have that for you. So that is probably one of my favorite things about the new e-file. And you guys, I wasn't quite sure that I was going to love it, but I absolutely love it. So just my new favorite thing here. It also has a little place for you to store your bits on there. It still has the forward and reverse. It does go all the way up to 35,000 RPM. So it's got some power to it. You guys, most of the time, you're never going to use it over, usually about 15,000 is about the highest that I ever use it. So when we're prepping, I'm going to grab my sanding band. And we'll grab a brand new one. Grab that. I'm going to slide my sanding band onto my mandrel. And we'll go ahead and I was showing you guys the foot pedal. Now I got to reposition that back where I need it here. So give me just a second real quick. All right, so we got our foot pedal. I'm going to go ahead and turn my speed down to about 5,000 RPMs. And actually, even on this electric file, I can even go even slower than that. So maybe even up to, I don't know, 3,000 to 4,000 RPMs. And that's going to be a good speed to work to do your prep. So I'm just going to go through gently prepping up around that cuticle area. Let me come a little closer. There you guys can see a little better. We're going to go through and just kind of feather through the surface of that. Oh, you guys, I got so excited about the electric file. I forgot one of my steps. Guys, you didn't tell me in the chat. You guys got to be paying attention here. I always want to start by pushing back my cuticles. Even before I do my removing of shine, always start by pushing back those cuticles, get that area cleaned up, and kind of loosen up that skin from the nail plate. That way, when you do go through with the electric file, you're going to be able to clean all of that excess cuticle growth off of that natural nail. So make sure, even if you are practicing on the trainer hand, make sure that you don't forget that step like I just did. All right, so now we are going to go in with our sanding band here. we're going to go through and just gently remove the shine right up around that cuticle area. And again, feathering that bit all the way through the free edge, all the way through that nail. And all we're really trying to do is create just a little bit of texture on the surface of the nail. And then we're also going to be breaking up the surface oils on that nail. So that's really what makes our natural nail shiny, is those oils that are in the nail. So we want to break those up, make those easier to cleanse off when we use our swipe. So this way we're going to end up with a nice, clean, dry, slightly textured nail for our product to adhere to. So again, just kind of feathering through all the way through that natural nail, making sure to get any last little shiny spots off of there. Now I'm going to take my manicure brush. We're going to dust off those nails, get as much of that dust cleaned off of those nails as possible. And then we'll go through with our swipe. Let me come back out here. Swipe is our cleanser. I'm going to pump a little bit of that onto my manicure brush, and we're going to use that to really cleanse those nails and get those last little bits of dust off of there. And we're going to use this to cleanse off any extra residue, any oils that might be on the nail, and any little bits of bacteria and things like that that are maybe stuck on the nail. So we want to just get that nail really nice and clean. And just take a little bit more of my swipe here. And somebody's asking about the portable e-file. You guys, yes, we do have a portable e-file that does match this one that I was showing you here. And we do have some other videos that we're going to be coming out with that we're going to show you guys all of the different products and all of the different, everything that came out or is being launched on our sale starting November 1st, you guys. November 1st is when our Black Friday sale is going to start this year. So make sure to check out our video here on our YouTube channel. That's going to tell you all of the sale details. And yes, we'll try to get to showing you guys all of the different products and tools here on YouTube on our live streams, but we will be showing those. We do have lots of videos coming out for you guys. And I am just going through and applying 2 coats. So I'm going to start with 1 coat and then we'll go back with a 2nd coat of our Protein Bond. And Protein Bond is our bonder. Let me get a little closer there. Protein Bond is our bonder, and this is what's going to really help our product adhere to the nail. Now, if you're working with acrylics, hard gels, or what I'm doing today is a full set of our full cover tips, and you're using the tip and jewel adhesive, either the original or the thin, I always like to go through with 2 coats of my Protein Bond. This way my nails are going to have a really good tacky surface to adhere those tips onto, and we're going to have great adhesion. And just going through getting my 2nd coat on here, making sure that I'm not flooding my product up into my cuticle area or down along the side walls. Just making sure I've got a nice thin even coat all the way through. All right, so we've got our product, we've got our Protein Bond all the way up to our cuticle areas. We've got 2 coats on there. Now I'm going to be working with our full cover almond nails. And you guys, if you saw the new video, you know that we've got some new tips coming out. But right now we still do have the full cover almond tips. So that's what I'm going to be showing you here today. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start by sizing out my nails. Now I want to kind of take a look at a few different things when I'm sizing out my nails. The first thing that I always want to check is, let me grab a couple of tips here. They're stuck together on me. First thing that I want to check is, does the C-curve of the tip match the C-curve of my natural nail? So if we look at the natural nail kind of straight down the barrel like this, we want to make sure that the C-curve, the curve of the tip, is going to fit the C-curve or the curve of my natural nail. Okay, so first off, this one does look like it would fit on there pretty well. This actually does look like a fairly large tip. So when I hold that onto the nail, do you see how much that overlaps off of those edges? So even though it does fit that C-curve nice, it is going to be a little bit big and a little too big for what I'm going to apply today. So I'm going to go to another size smaller. So let's check this one. So this one is a size 2. I'm still going to check to see, is that C-curve going to fit? And I think that's still going to look about right on there. Now I'm going to check to make sure that it's going to fit all the way from side to side without having to use a lot of pressure on there. Now this one, it does feel like it just sets right down onto that nail, so I don't have to put pressure into that C-curve. I don't have to press out that C-curve to make it flatter. So that one does feel pretty good, but it is hanging off the edges just a little bit. So I am going to go even one size smaller just to check and see if my smaller size is going to fit any better than this size. So let's go to a size 3. And you guys, I do apologize. I am fighting a little bit of a cold, so if I sound a little sniffly here, I apologize for that. But we're going to make it through because I want to make sure to show you guys all these great products here today. All right, so this one, we're going to turn that one around. That one still does look pretty good for the C-curve, but this one we're going to check and see, do I have to use any pressure to squish that down onto the nail? Just going to kind of hold that on there. If I use just a tiny little bit of pressure, that's going to set right down onto that nail. And actually, you know what, you guys, I don't know if you guys can see this really on camera or kind of understand, but do you see how as I push that tip down, it almost pops back up? I don't want that. I want to make sure that the tip is just sitting flush down on there without wanting to pop back up, because if I put a tip on that's going to pop back up, that's actually going to make that tip want to lift a little bit. So I think we're going to go with the larger size because I don't have to press that one down. But because it does hang off the edges just a little bit, I am going to grab my file. Oops, actually, you guys, you know what? I've got 4 nails here that I got to do. But I am going to kind of customize that nail just a little bit. So we're going to file the edges of that nail a little bit all the way around those edges. And I'm also going to make sure that my tip is a little bit more customized right up there in my cuticle area. So this way it's going to fit nice and flush up into the cuticle area. So going through, and I'm going to grab my other file here. I'm going to grab my file buffer combo. So I've got my 180 file buffer combo. So it's got the file on one side, the buffer on the other. And we're going to use that buffer side to clean up around those edges. So just to kind of clean up that little bit of a frayed edge. Now let's take a look at this one and see one more time. Now that one actually looks like it's going to fit just perfect right onto the nail. Got a little bit of dust underneath there still. But that one's going to fit nicely from side to side and then all the way back up into that cuticle area. So I'm going to set that one right here. We'll go ahead and size out the rest of our nails. So same thing, and you guys, the tips that I'm using on here, they're all the same size, so I know that all of my nails are going to be the same size. So we'll just grab a few of those. I'm going to set those off to the side, and I will need to customize all of these. So I am going to take my file, and we'll just kind of take off those edges just a little bit, round those back up to the cuticle area, making sure everything is going to fit from side to side. Now, you guys, when we were using our thicker tip and jewel adhesive, I would always recommend leaving a little bit of extra space. So when you're working with the tips, to leave a little bit of that tip hanging off the edge, so that way you've got a little bit more space when you're getting that tip and jewel adhesive underneath. But because now we've got a thinner adhesive, we don't need to leave that little bit hanging off the edges. So I'm going to file and customize my tips so that they do fit all the way from side to side. You guys, my tips are sticking together here. So same thing, we're just going to go through, take off a little bit of each edge, round that up into the cuticle area, and then we will check our shaping one more time. Whoops, you guys, sorry. I feel like I keep coming off a camera here. Let me readjust a little bit. There we go. All right. Carrie is asking, are these new tips? You guys, I'm going to be honest, I actually don't have the brand new tips yet. They are still at our warehouse and I don't have them yet, but I will be getting those soon. And as soon as I have all of the new products, then I will show you guys everything. Okay. But for today, we're going to be still working with our original full cover almond tips. And that's what we've got here. But you guys, let me tell you, the new tips that we have, I think you're going to absolutely love them. Lots of different shapes, lots of different sizes for you. So no matter what size or shape your nail is, there is probably a good chance that that you're going to have a tip that's going to fit. So there's not going to be as much customizing, kind of like we're doing here. You're going to have more sizes to choose from. So that way, like I said, you're going to be able to find a tip that's going to fit your nail shape and size a lot easier. So nice and easy with the new tips. All right. And let me just dust off my nails. You guys, make sure when you do your prep, and I kind of got ahead of myself, you guys, I got so excited today. So normally I would wait until I do size out all of my tips to do all of my prep, because I have that protein bond on the nails now, and any dust that gets on those nails is going to stick. So if you do need to customize those tips, make sure to size out and customize your tips before you do your prep and put your protein bond on. So sorry about that little, again, you guys, I'm so excited. I got ahead of myself, so just bear with me. Okay, and we got a little fuzz right on there. All right, you guys, I'm just going to go ahead and give these one more quick cleanse just because I want to make sure that these are nice and clean. And you guys, if you do end up doing something like this, maybe you got a little dust on the nails after you prepped, you can go ahead and cleanse the nails one more time with your swipe, and then go through with one more coat of your protein bond, okay? Somebody says their screen is black. It's looking good on my end here, but maybe close the app and then come back in if you're having that issue. Hopefully it's up and working for you, but all right, you guys, so again, one more coat of our protein bond. Normally I would only apply 2 coats, but because I had to do just one more quick cleanse to get any of that dust off, I did want to go ahead and apply another coat of protein bond. Now, as long as I've got my protein bond out, I'm going to apply a coat in the well of my tip. And you guys, you could either go through with the electric file and you could create a little bit of texture in the well, or what I like to do instead is just use our protein bond and apply a coat of protein bond in the well of that tip, and that's going to help to give a little bit more adhesion when we're putting our product on. So when we're working with our tip and jewel adhesive gel, we want to make sure that we've got either a tacky surface or a textured surface, because gel generally does not like to stick to a smooth, shiny surface like this tip. So that's why we need to go through and apply a coat of our protein bond. Or like I said, you could use the electric file and you can create some texture in that well. But personally, I find it much easier and much faster to just apply a coat of protein bond. All right, you guys, who's ready to see the new tip and jewel adhesive? Throw some hearts in the chat if you are ready and you are excited to see the new product. All right, so we have our brand new tip and jewel thin adhesive gel. And if we open that up, you guys, you can see it is now in a tube instead of the little pot like our original was. So it's in the tube. It's got a cute little nozzle there. So all we're going to need to do here is we're going to use that nozzle. We're going to apply our adhesive gel into the well of our tip. And I'm just going to squeeze out a little bit of product in the well. Now you can use the nozzle if you want to kind of move that from side to side, move that around the nail, but you don't necessarily have to, because I'm going to show you something. Now, before I actually get into applying this, you guys, I do want to show you that I do have my touch cure light right here. So I have that ready to go to help freeze our nails into place. So if you're wondering, yes, we still want to use that, that touch cure light when we're applying our tip and jewel adhesive thin gel. Okay. Here we go, you guys. Let me come in nice and close. So again, we've got that gel in the well of our tip. Now I'm going to do something a little bit different than what I used to do with our thicker gel. With this gel, let me turn this on the side. Yes, Amy JT is asking, do we still have the adhesive gel in the pot? Yes, you guys, we still have the tip and jewel adhesive gel in the pot, but now we have a new option in the tube. It's a little bit thinner. So it's just a different application technique, but it's going to be a great extra option for you as you're working. Now, you guys, I'm going to show you. Normally with the thicker tip and jewel adhesive gel, I would set that down and just rock that tip on. With this one, with the thinner gel, I'm actually going to take that tip. We've got the gel in the back. I'm going to touch that tip down. See how it connects there? I'm just going to kind of drag that tip just gently over the surface. What this is going to do is this is going to create just a little bit of a sticky layer with that gel on the natural nail. So now that natural nail has gel on it and the well has gel on it. So when we go to set this down, it's going to press out any air pockets or anything like that, and you're going to get a much smoother application. So we're still going to start a little ways away from that cuticle area. I'm going to touch that down. I'm just going to start to slide that tip back, gently rock that down. Now you can see it's puckering just a little bit in that back area. If that happens, take the nail off, and I'm going to set that down. You see there's a couple of little air bubbles in there. You guys, there's lots of little techniques here when you're using this product to make it a lot easier for you. But you can just kind of pull that tip through, getting that product onto the nail, wiping out those air pockets. I'm going to start at my back cuticle area, put some pressure down there, and now I'm going to set that tip down. I'm going to rock that nail down, bringing that all the way to the end. I'm going to slide that back. I'm going to use just a little bit more pressure right back at that cuticle area. Now, if you do have a little bit of that gel that does squeeze out, grab your orange wood stick and you can clean those last little bits off. And just going to kind of gently hold that there. And then I'm going to use our Touch Cure Light to set that into place. So you guys, I'll back the camera out once I have this nail set into place. But I do wanted to just kind of show you how to get that nail on there, rock that down on there, and then freeze that with the light. All right. So you guys, let me show you here real quick. So this again is our Touch Cure Light, and I'm using that to set that gel into place. So this way, it's going to kind of freeze that gel into place, and now we can go on to our next nail. We don't have to fully cure everything all the way as we're going, because at the end, if we've already froze that one into place, at the end we're going to do a full 60-second cure on all of the nails. So that Touch Cure Light is just going to help you save time so that you don't have to go back and forth in and out of the light. So again, we'll squeeze a little bit of that gel into the well. If you want, you can move that from side to side. You don't have to, because when you use this technique of, there's a little fuzz on there, of setting that tip onto the nail and kind of brushing that gel through, that's going to help to give you a little bit better adhesion. Okay, so again, touch that tip down. We're going to slide that back to our cuticle area. We're going to gently rock that down the free edge. I'm going to just use a little more pressure by our cuticle area, a little more pressure all the way down the length of the nail. I'm going to use our Touch Cure Light. We're going to set that product into place, just basically freezing that into place, maybe for 10 to 20 seconds or so, just enough to hold that tip where it needs to be. Okay, once we have that set into place, it's not moving anymore, go ahead and turn that off. We'll take our next nail and use a little bit more of that adhesive right in the well of our tip. Get a good amount in there. Again, we're going to kind of just wipe that through the surface of the nail, and then we'll set our tip back at our cuticle area, gently rocking that down. You guys have got a little bit of product coming off the edge here. Let me clean that up. And if you do find, I think I had a little bit of too much product on there. If you feel like you do have a little too much, just grab a lint-free wipe, wipe off any excess, and then you can go ahead and reapply that. Not a big deal. It's not a major thing. Just make sure you've got the proper amount on there. Same thing, we're going to set that down. We're going to rock that down. I'm just going to hold that into place. A little bit of pressure right up at our cuticle area. And then we're going to freeze that on. A little bit more pressure to bring that product all the way down to our free edge. Secure that nail on with our Touch Cure Light, holding that into place. And again, for maybe about 10 to 20 seconds or so. And then we'll get our last nail. And you guys, see how fast and easy this is? I mean, this is such a quick and easy way of doing nails, doing enhancements. If you don't want to use the full on acrylic, you don't want to use a full hard gel nail, this is a great option for you. If you are a beginner nail tech, this is a really great option for you because a lot of times we haven't, maybe mastered our acrylic applications, we maybe haven't mastered our gel applications, but this is a really easy technique to learn how to do. Guys, I just wanted to grab my Touch Cure light here. Really easy application to learn how to do. And I think I got a little bit of extra gel underneath there. Let me just clean that out real quick. Grab my lint-free wipe. All right, guys, I'm just going to take that one off. If this happens, and you guys, weird things like this happen, I don't know how I ended up getting a little extra gel in the well down there. I'm just going to start that one over. I'm just going to use a lint-free wipe, clean that off, and then let's go ahead and reapply. So not a big deal. And sometimes, you guys, I like to have things like this that happen on camera because that way you can see exactly how you would deal with issues or deal with challenges like that. Okay, so not a big deal. Just going to put a little bit more of our product in there. Again, I'm going to kind of flow that through that nail. We're going to set that right down at the cuticle area, rock that down, right down onto the nail, connecting all the way through. Again, if you do have a little bit of that product that squeezes out the edges, go ahead and use your orange wood stick to remove that. And then we're just going to set that into place using our Touch Cure light. Again, that's going to go for maybe about 10 to 20 seconds or so, just freezing that nail into place. And once we have all of our nails set into place, we are going to put this back into the full UV LED light because at this point, all we've done is just kind of set them, just froze them into place. So now what we want to do is we're going to get those nails into our full UV LED light, and that is going to go in for a full 60-second cure. Now, when that does come out, we are going to do just a little bit of shaping. We're not going to have a lot of work to do, just a little bit of shaping. And we're going to be using a 150 grit file. So I'm going to grab my 150 grit file, and then I'm also going to be using that medium sanding band on my electric file. Okay, so just another few seconds in the light. And when we do our shaping, all we're going to be really doing is just basically cleaning up the free edge. Because these tips already have a shape to them, you don't need to do a whole lot of cleaning up, but I do want to show you guys here. If you look really closely at the end of the tips, let me come in nice and close so you can see. A lot of times there's a little bit of a catch right at that edge, and that's just from how the tips are molded. So that's really all we're going to be doing, or all we're going to be cleaning up on the nails. All right, so our nails are set into place. They are not going anywhere. So all we need to do is just go through. We're going to shape up the edges. If there's any customizing that you need to do, if you need to maybe clean up a lower arch that may have been hanging off a little bit more, you can clean up those edges around there, going through, cleaning up those edges. But really all we need to do is take off that kind of that little point at the edge. So go ahead and do that. If you maybe want to taper the nails in a little bit more, you can taper them in, make them a little bit more pointed instead of so almond shaped. If you decide that you maybe want to cut down the length, shorten those up a little bit, you can definitely shorten those up a little bit. So just really quick and easy, you guys. Nothing too complicated with this application. Okay, so just cleaning up around my edges. Cleaning up around my edges, tapering in those sides. And you guys, if you haven't already, great chance for you to hit that subscribe button, join our community, and continue to get free education. All right, so we've got our nails shaped up. That's all we needed to do to shape up. Now what we're going to do, we're going to go back to our electric file, and we're going to go to maybe about 10,000 RPMs. Actually, I think I've got it at about 9,000 RPMs. And we're going to work right up around that cuticle area. And we're going to take down any little bulk that you may have around there. You guys, if you do feel like you have a little bit of extra bulk, you can go in with your safety bit. And let me show you guys how to do that, just in case you need to. So we're going to change out our bit. I'm going to go in with my safety bit at maybe about 12,000 RPMs. And I'm just going to gently work around that cuticle area, to thin and taper that out. So any of those little edges that you may have had right around there, I had a little corner here that wasn't secured down, I can thin and taper that down. Okay, so just going through, thinning out that back cuticle area. And you guys, I love this bit because it does have that rounded edge. It's not going to cut your cuticle or anything like that. So if you do accidentally bump into that cuticle, you guys disregard my little cut on my hand. I hit a box the other day. So, but that little rounded edge is going to be very safe up around that cuticle area. Okay, so just thinning and tapering. Again, if you need to go all the way through all of the nails, you can thin and taper. If your product and your application was right on, everything looked perfect, all you would need to do would just be to go through and just kind of thin that out a little bit, remove the shine, because we are going to be using our new Ombré Pat Gels. You guys, I've got a fun new product to show you here that I'm super excited about, so I do want to show you guys that. But I'm going to go ahead and change out my bit again. We're going to go back to that sanding band, and I'm going to turn my speed down here, like I said, maybe to about 9,000 RPMs. And we're just going to go through just gently removing that shine, removing any last ledge there. And then we're going to go through and just feather that bit right through that nail, just like we did when we were prepping the natural nail, just to remove the shine. So all the way through, making sure, I'm going to turn my speed up. I think one more to up to 9,000 is going to be good for this. All right, same thing. We'll go through, up around our cuticle area, and then just flowing all the way through just enough to remove the shine. Cleaning up that nail. And because we're using our Ombré Pat gels, that's why we do need to make sure we're removing shine from this nail. If we use a gel on a shiny surface, it's not going to want to adhere very well. So we're going through removing the shine so that our gel or gel polish, whatever you put over the top of these, is going to adhere really well. Okay. All right, one last time around our cuticle, and then we'll just feather that bit all the way through the nail. All right, I think we're good there. We'll go ahead and dust off the nails and get all of that dust cleaned off of there. And I do like to use my Manicure Cleanse at this point. Our Manicure Cleanse is an acetone-free cleanser. So you technically, you guys, you could use that same swipe that we were using earlier, but swipe does have a little bit of acetone in it, so you want to make sure you're not overusing that on the plastic tips, okay? That acetone can start to break the tips down, so that's why I prefer to use the Manicure Cleanse, because there's no acetone and it's going to still do the same job of cleansing our tips, but we're not going to have to worry about the tips cracking or anything like that, okay? Amber's asking, are you using the new e-file? Yes, Amber, I am using the new e-file. You are going to absolutely love it. We're going to have lots of videos on all of our new products. So keep an eye here on our YouTube channel so that you can see all of those different videos. So we will have lots of education on all of that. But let me show you guys our new Ombré Pat Gel collection. And you guys, yes, I have opened this up, but I wanted to show you guys right fresh out of the box here. So when you take that kit, you're going to get a few different things in the kit. You're going to get some nail masks. I'll show you those in a little bit. You're going to get the little claw tool. Let me grab that out of here. So you're going to get that little claw tool so you can I'll show you guys the top. You press the top down, you're going to open that up, and that's going to grab one of your little sponges. And like I said, you guys, I've used this kit several times now, so it does come with more sponges than that. So we're going to use that little claw tool, grab onto one of our sponges, and then I'm going to show you all of these beautiful colors. Now, you guys, you don't have to leave them in the little foam thing here, but I like to kind of keep them organized like that. But I'm going to show you all of these beautiful colors. We've got you guys, I'm just gonna open them up and you tell me what colors you like best. So kind of a brick kind of a color. We've got, actually, you know what? Let me start up here because I actually organized these. So we've got black, and white, which I think, oops, black and white up at the top here, Karen. Get it together. Okay, so we've got black and white. I think those two are probably going to be my favorites for a lot of different things. Then we've got purple. We've got a light kind of lilac lavender color. We've got that darker kind of a burgundy red. Then we have a lighter blue, kind of a dusty blue. I'm going to call that a dusty blue. And then we've got a bright blue. And, oh, somebody's asking in the chat, you guys, sorry, does the Tip and Jewel adhesive dry tacky? You guys, it does have a little bit of a sticky feel. So you do want to, if you do have any of that gel from underneath, you do want to cleanse that underneath. But otherwise, if you, from here, you're not going to feel any tackiness. So I hope that answered your question. Sorry, you guys, I missed that question earlier. All right, and then next color we have is a light, kind of a light sage green. Somebody's asking, what are those? You guys, these are our new pat gels, our new ombre pat gels. So I'm going to show you exactly how to use them in a second here. But then we have another little bit of a brighter green and bright orange. I absolutely love this bright orange, super, super pretty. And kind of a dusty, you guys, these are our fall and winter colors. So I'm going to call a lot of these a dusty color because they are a little bit more of that dusty look. So it is going to be a little bit more geared towards fall and winter, but kind of a dusty brick color. And then this one is going to be our bright red. So lots of really, really pretty colors for you guys to use. Let me reorganize these just a little bit so you can see. And again, I do have my little claw tool here with a sponge in there. And so we got that box of sponges. We've got the masks in there. Okay, let's actually get into doing a design here because I know you guys really want to see how to do this. Now, you know what? I'm going to show you. I'm going to swap out. You guys, you know I love my swap outs. So I have a nail that I've already got some gel polish on. So you can use these over gel polish. So I'm going to pop that in there. And you guys, yes, we do have a brand new polish, gel polish line out as well. And again, you guys, all of these products are going to be available November 1st for our Black Friday sale. So check out our video that we've got here on YouTube for all of the information on the deals. But that's when all of these are going to be coming out. Okay, now on our nails over here, I will apply a coat of Protein Bond. And that's going to give these nails a little bit better adhesion when we do apply our pat gels onto those tips. But on my gel, I don't need to apply that extra coat of Protein Bond. It's going to bond right to that gel. Okay, so just a little bit of insight on how to get those nails ready. Now, you guys, if you use these ombre pat gels for nothing other than your ombres, it's going to be worth it because you guys, excuse me, your ombres are going to be so much easier using these pat gels. Roxy, yes, we do deliver to Canada. You now can order on our website to Canada. Absolutely. So definitely check that out. But you guys, I want to show you one other quick thing here. There's so much information that I want to tell you guys about these. But if you open up that container, you have access to that gel. So if you want to, you can use a brush. Let me pop my brush open here. So you can use a brush and you can scoop that gel out and you could paint on a full cover color. Okay, you can do that. I'm not going to do that on today's demo, but you can do that. So you do have access to that full entire container. But if you put that cap back on, this is where, let me show you this really quick. It's got a little bit of a mesh. It's kind of a spongy mesh in there. So what you're going to do, you're going to be able to press your sponge onto that mesh, and that's going to help you pick up the proper amount of gel. If we were to just open this up, let me come here. If you just open that up and you tap your sponge in there, that one, it's going to get too much on there, okay? But having that little extra, that extra mesh in there, you're going to be able to press that in. and it'll fully load up your sponge. And you guys, I'll show you all the different colors here in a second. I think there was a question about the black, but I'll show you all the different colors in a second, okay? Let me show you the ombre first, and then we'll go through some other colors and some other designs. But again, I'm just kind of pressing that sponge in there, so it's going to load up my sponge, but it's not going to have so much, okay? Miss Cheryl's Place says, I'll take 2 of each. You guys, these are going to be coming in our, I believe it's the acrylic mystery box starting November 1st. So make sure to check out that sale, okay? November 1st, youngnails.com. You got to be there. All right, so we've got our product on our sponge. I'm just going to start to tap that onto the nail. So you guys, look at how easy this is. Look at how easy that ombre is going to be. Just tapping that onto the nail, tapping, tapping. And I basically start down at my free edge, and then as that product is adhering to the nail and it's coming off of the sponge, then I'll work back a little bit. That way that white is going to start to ombre and start to blend back into our pink, okay? Now, if I do need to, you guys, I'm going to grab my Touch Cure light here real quick. If you need to do a second coat, you can use your Touch Cure light, or you can pop that nail back into the full UV LED light. I just have to be really careful because I have all of these gels open and I don't want my UV light curing any of these gels, okay? So if you do need to apply a second coat, if you want your color a little bit more bold, then cure that first layer. If you're using the Touch Cure light, I would say about 20 seconds, 20 to 30 seconds in there, and then you can add another coat. If you're going into the full UV LED light, if you're maybe doing the full hand, then I would just pop it in there for however long it takes you to do the second hand, okay? All right, you guys, let's take a little bit more of our white. Again, I'm just kind of bouncing my sponge into the container, starting at my free edge, making that free edge nice and bold, nice and bright white, and then just start to blend back towards the stress area, or however far back you want your product, however far back you want that ombre. Now, I can see that I've got a little bit more product right there than what I need. I can either grab one of our little tiles, our little art palettes, or sometimes I just like to have a couple extra table towels right in front of me. So this way, if I need to clean out any of that extra paint from my brush, I just kind of, I touch that, or not the brush, the sponge. I touch the sponge down onto my table towel, clean out some of that extra, and then I can go ahead and tap again and blend that out. So sometimes you don't want that much product on there. You don't want that much paint on there. So this way I can just take off that excess and we're good to go. Now you guys, I do see a tiny little piece of dust that somehow got onto my nail. I'm going to show you how easy this is to clean up. If you do see that little piece of dust on there or something got on there, just I used my orange wood stick, I cleaned that off. I can go back to that nail, grab a little bit more of that color, and I can just tap that on and I can touch that up. Take off a little bit of that excess and just blend that out. So you guys, even if you do get a little piece of fuzz or lint or something on there that you don't want on there, it's really quick and easy to clean that off and remove it, okay? You guys, how easy was that ombre? And how beautiful does that look now? If I need to, I think I want to blend that out just a little bit. So I'm going to use my tile here, clean out some of that extra paint from my sponge, and I can just dab right across that ombre with kind of that empty sponge. So this way it's really going to blend out that color really, really well, okay? All right, again, if I need to, well, I do need to, I am going to cure that. So either curing that with the Touch Cure light here for 30 seconds, or curing that in our full UV LED light for 30 seconds, at least 30 seconds, you guys, minimum 30 seconds. 60 seconds is the full cure, but 30 seconds to freeze that into place and go on to our next nail. All right, now, if we go on to, let's go on to, let's go on to an aura look, because that's something that I feel like everybody is doing these days. So you guys, I could go back and grab a new sponge. If it were a new client, I would probably go to a new sponge. But for our design here today, I'll probably be able to just clean out some of that extra paint out of there, and then I can go on to my next color. So you can kind of reuse these sponges, but if you are going from a dark color to a light color, it's going to be harder. But if you were going from, say, like the white to maybe a darker color, then you can reuse the sponge. Carolyn, I promise I'll show you guys all of the different colors in a second here. I just want to show you, make sure that you got the techniques down, and then I'll definitely show you guys all of the different colors. I promise. But let me know, actually, you know what? How's this? Carolyn, you're asking for black. Let's go ahead and do a black and white aura. Now, because I'm going to be going with black and white, I'm actually going to save this sponge. So I'm going to take that one out. I don't want to try to use black and white together because it is going to get into my sponge. So I'm going to pick up a second sponge. We'll grab that little sponge there, and we'll grab our black. And one other thing. So I'm going to start by doing a full cover sponge design or a pat design on here. Okay. Now, when I'm working on a real nail, I want to make sure that I'm not getting any product on the skin, or kind of keep that as clean as possible. So here's my little trick, you guys. Take one of your forms, and these are, you know, your sculpting forms. You can use your forms to help protect that nail around the back cuticle area. So this way you're not going to have a lot of product on the skin. Okay, so try to make sure to keep as much product off the skin as possible. Okay. All right, so here is our black. There's a little piece of fuzz on there. So again, we're going to take our sponge, pat, 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 right down into that mesh. That's going to give us the proper amount of product on our sponge. We'll go through, pat, pat, pat. Now, you guys, if you're going to be doing solid coverage, a lot of times I will do just like I did here, polish that out with just gel polish for that full coverage. But you guys were asking for black, so I do want to show you guys all of the colors here. So I want you guys to be able to see this. Normally, I probably wouldn't always use the pat gels for full coverage, but you can. Just want you to know that you can. And when I'm working up around my sides, you kind of see I do turn that on the side, so this way I can really keep an eye on where my sponge is hitting, and I'm not just pressing that all the way onto the skin. So this way I can keep it a little bit cleaner. Now, because I've got that barrier up top, now I can get a little bit closer up around that cuticle area and tuck that in around the edges. But those edges are going to be a little bit easier to sponge all the way through. All right. So we've got our black on there. Got a little bit more. And again, you guys, if you need to, you can always add a second layer. Just going through, kind of blending that out, making it nice and smooth all the way through. And we'll hit this with either our touch cure light or your full UV LED. Now, you guys, if you're doing full sets of these, I would definitely just go into the full LED, UV LED, rather than trying to work with the touch cure light. So that's what I would do, but just for kind of showing you guys techniques here and kind of making things a little bit easier for on camera, I am using the touch cure light. So you do have options with that. But I would go probably about 20 seconds or so, 20 to 30 seconds at least, to freeze this into place. And then again, if you need to make a little bit of a darker coverage, you can add in another coat. Again, dabbing that all the way through. Now, you guys, if you do like these colors and you want full coverage with them, another technique would be to simply grab your brush. Okay, and guys, I'm just going to show you. So just take off that cap, and you can grab a little bit of that black paint on your brush, and you can brush that out onto the nail. Now, if you are brushing out, I actually still like to use the sponge because I feel like the sponge is going to give me a little bit of a smoother application. Now again, working up around the cuticles, I want to make sure that I'm keeping that product off the skin, but sometimes using that brush, you're going to be able to get a little bit closer up into those cuticles rather than trying to use the sponge. So a couple of different options for you as well. I'm going to take just a little bit more of that paint, just tucking that right up around that cuticle, blending forward. Now you guys, when you brush the product on, it's very thick. It is a very thick product. So that's why I will still go through with my sponge just to kind of smooth that out, make sure that I've got just nice even coverage all the way through. Okay, but you can see with 2 coats of that black, that is very opaque. I'm going to put my little cap back on there. So you will get good coverage all the way through with the 2 coats. Okay, let's go ahead and cure that again into place. Again, another 30 seconds. Somebody says orange and black. Ooh, orange and black. You know what, you guys, how do I want to do this? Now, sometimes you guys, I think we're going to try this. Let's try this and see what happens, because I haven't actually tried orange and black together yet. So let's see what happens. So what we'll do when we kind of freeze this through, with the black, my question is our orange going to show up over the black? Now, we may need to add a coat of white over the black, but let's try it out. You guys, let's have some fun today. So let's grab another one of our sponges and let's grab that orange. So you guys, I have a feeling the orange may not show up over the black, but let's just try it out and see what happens. Oh, you guys, let's grab a little bit more of that. Look at that, you guys, the orange does show up over the black. Now, the reason that I was questioning it is because sometimes when you have that really solid dark base and you want maybe that brighter orange, sometimes I would apply a coat of white underneath, okay? So I'm actually going to do that. You'll see the orange does kind of show up a little bit, but I'm going to wipe that off. To get a really, really bold, bright white, I'm going to go back to my white sponge here. So we're going to set that one down, grab my white sponge, and let's go back to our, where did I lose it? Oh, you guys, I lost my white. Where did I put, oh my gosh. There it is, I closed it up. Okay, so let's go back to our white, and we're gonna create a base color. So this way our orange is really gonna pop out. So if we just tap a little bit of that white right in the center, so I'm just kind of putting that right down the middle. Then once I have that as bright or kind of where I want it, I'm just going to clean that out of my sponge, get out some of that excess, and then I'm going to work right around the edge of that. And that's going to start to blend out the edge of that, and that's going to give us that aura look, so that more of that ombre out look. Okay, so kind of spooky now, you guys. I love it. Now I am going to freeze that into place, so freezing that white. And now when we put our orange over the top of that white, we're going to get a much brighter look. Okay, so just some of those little tricks to make the colors stand out a little bit more. I think we're good there. And again, let me grab my orange sponge now. Again, you guys, you can reuse the sponges if you're going from, a lighter color to a darker color. But because we're doing several nails here, I do want to keep my sponges separate so that I can use all of those different colors. All right, take a little bit of that orange. Now when we put that over our white, now that's going to be a much brighter color. So definitely go ahead and do your ombres however you want them to look. Again, I'm going to clean out some of that extra paint from my sponge, and then we'll tap all the way around, ombreing that out all the way through. So super fun, and you guys, that's going to be great for Halloween. I know Halloween, well, no, you guys, oh, you can't get these until after Halloween. I forgot. But you can do these colors, you can do these designs all year round, however you want to create those. Okay, so that is our aura look. I'm going to take off my form here so you can see that really helped to protect that natural nail. One thing I forgot to mention, you guys, do make sure that you go through and you clean up any of that paint before you cure. And like I said, I forgot to do that. I got so excited. But make sure you clean off any of that paint if that accidentally gets on the skin before you cure. Otherwise, it is going to cure on the skin, and we don't want that to happen. Okay? All right, you guys, let's see. One more thing that I want to show you, and then we're going to top coat. While these are top coated and curing, then I'll show you all of the different colors here. But we're kind of running low on time here, so I want to get some other things in here. So one other thing that I want to show you is a 2-color blend. So let's do, oh, you know what? Let's do a 3-color blend. Let's use our red, our orange, and our burgundy. And I want to show you guys a really pretty sunset kind of a look. And you can do this with any of the colors, really. Okay. So I'm going to start with, since we already have our orange, I'm going to start with my orange sponge. I'm going to load up our orange. And again, normally I would put another form around that cuticle area just to make sure. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to grab my gel brush again here. And I think I'm going to paint out that cuticle area. So I want to make sure my brush is nice and clean. Actually, I'm going to just grab a different brush here. Maybe I won't grab a different brush here. Can't find, there we go. Okay, so I've got another brush. I'm going to open up my orange and let's just take a little bit of that orange. Not much, just a tiny little bit. And we're going to brush that right from our cuticle area. So this way I don't have to get that sponge all the way up to that cuticle area. I'm just going to kind of work that down just a little bit. Okay, so that's enough. I'll put my cap back on here. And somebody's asking what brand and style of paint pots are those? You guys, these are our Young Nails products. Everything that we're using here is Young Nails. This product is going to be launching for our Black Friday sale starting November 1st. So make sure to check out, we have a great video telling you guys everything that's going to be on sale for our Black Friday sale here on our YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe and make sure to check out that video. You'll see all of that, all of the new product launches, all of the deals you're going to be able to find on our Black Friday sale. All right, so I am just sponging through that, blending out that first color. Now you guys, when I said you can reuse these sponges, I'm going to reuse this one. So I'm actually going to clean out as much of that color as possible, maybe even on my table towel here. Clean out as much of that color as possible, and then we'll go to our next color. That's why I started with my lighter color first, and then I can go to my medium color. So this is my red. We're going to start that right in the center here, sponging that across, getting good coverage all the way through. Again, if I need to, I can just release a little bit of that extra paint, and then I can just tap that right through where the orange and the red meet, getting that beautiful ombre right through there. Okay. And again, you guys, I do see a little bit of product on the skin, so I want to make sure I do clean that off. And then let's go to our darker, kind of that burgundy color. So we're going to take a little bit of that burgundy color right down at our free edge, tapping that through, and then we'll blend all the way through to blend that red and the burgundy together. Oh, you guys, I love that. I'm gonna clean out some of that extra. And you guys, if you feel like you need to, you can just grab a clean sponge if that works better for you. But I'm just going to tap that sponge all the way through, getting all of that color to blend beautifully. All right, you guys, what do you think? Are we liking these so far? Let me know. All right, again, we haven't top coated these yet. You guys, I'm going to show you one other technique that I think we've got time for one more here. I've already got a nail done, and if you were with us, I don't know, maybe a few weeks ago. Actually, you guys, hold on, before I put that one in here, I do want to make sure that I freeze this one into place so I don't smudge it as I go. But if you were with us here on our live stream, I think maybe it was last week, we sculpted out a purple glitter kind of for Halloween. And I have one of those nails that I'm going to use to show you another fun technique with our masks, so you guys can see how to use the masks. So just freezing that into place. So where did I lose the nail? Okay, so on our last nail here, we've got our nail all built out with purple glitter, kind of like what I've got on mine, that nice sparkly glitter. I'm going to show you guys our masks. So the masks come in a little pack like this. And let me open these up. And you guys, I have used these before, so they don't come, you know, half used like this. But the masks come in, there's 3 sheets in there. So you've got a couple of different kind of deeper French smile lines. You've got a more shallow French line, just a really very subtle French line. You've got that chevron, and then you've got a few more of those thicker French smile lines. Now you guys, you can, if you take a close look on here, you can see that they come in larger pieces all the way down to smaller pieces. Same thing in the chevrons and in the other smile lines, bigger pieces and then smaller pieces. So let's grab, I'm gonna grab one of the, oh you guys, what should we do today? Should we do a chevron or a smile line? Let me know. Let me know in the chat, chevron or smile line. Chevron is that angle, smile lines are the more smile lines. You guys know. Maybe we'll do a chevron. I think I'm going to do a chevron. I think I want to do that. So I'm going to grab, I use my tweezers here. I'm going to grab one of those little chevrons, peel that off. I am going to stick that down onto the nail. Now you guys, this nail I have not applied protein bond onto. So just make sure that when you're using the masks, you don't need to use protein bond. It's actually going to keep the masks from sticking. So stick that on there really, really well. Now, if we want even a little bit more fun, I'm going to grab one of those smaller chevrons. And this is kind of one of my favorite designs to do. And I'm going to set that on there. Now, you guys, I'm looking at this nail and I'm looking at a different angle from you guys, and it's looking not quite so straight. So I'm just going to peel that off, straighten that out, make sure everything is nice and straight. So don't worry if you don't get them perfectly straight. You can very carefully remove those and re-stick them down. Just make sure that they're really tight down onto that nail. And then, oh, let's see. I think maybe we'll go back to our white. I think white is a really good color for this design. So we're just going to grab our white sponge. I'm going to grab my white paint. And let me come in nice and close for you guys again. Tap in, grab a little bit of that paint. We're going to tap that on. Oops, sorry guys, there you go. All the way through. Grab a little bit more. And you can either stop in front of the second little mask here, or what I like to do is I actually like to continue that ombre and just kind of fade that out right back behind that line. Now, if you needed to do a second coat, if you felt like this maybe wasn't quite solid enough, you could cure this, which I'm going to cure now. So we'll cure that. And then you could add in a second coat of your color, just like we did earlier on the other designs, okay? So you can definitely do a second coat, or you can just leave it with one coat, but just make sure that you do cure all the way through in between coats, okay? So we're gonna freeze that, and I think just for the heck of it, oh, you guys, maybe let's do a little bit of orange, just for the fun of it. Let's throw in a little bit of orange right down here, just to add into our kind of our Halloween look. But you guys, you can do all kinds of different fun things with these sponges and with these masks. So we've got our little bit of orange on there. I'm gonna freeze that one into place really quick. And oops, sorry guys, got a little too close to the camera there. Okay, so freeze that into place, and then we'll grab our tweezers and we can remove our masks. And you've got that really fun kind of negative space look. All right, you guys. Oh, I had a little bit of product on the skin there. So at this point, I am going to go through and I'm going to top coat all of these so that you guys can see the final looks on them. But you guys, now you have to make sure that you are doing the top coat chant in the chat, and make sure you've subscribed to our channel if you haven't already. And let's go ahead and top coat. So I'm going to just grab our Ultimate Finish top coat. We're going to go through, apply one coat of our top coat, and then I am going to fully cure these. While I'm curing these, I am going to show you guys all of the different colors that come in this kit. But when we do our top coat, that's when the colors really come alive, and you really can see how beautiful that ombre is and how beautiful those blends are. Okay, so just going through applying a coat of top coat. This top coat is, you guys all know if you've been here for a while, this is one of my favorite top coats. It is a super high shine, great top coat. It is a non-tack top coat, so you don't have to worry about cleansing the surface after it's come out of the light. But just a beautiful top coat to seal in your designs. But you guys, look as I'm top coating these, how much brighter those colors get. Absolutely love them. So super fun. Again, you guys, this kit, the Ombré Pat Gels, are going to be in the acrylic mystery box for our Black Friday sale. So you're going to have to join us on our website on November 1st is when the sale starts. And then you can get all of these great colors. So let me get this into the light, and then I'll show you, show you guys all of the colors one more time while those are curing. All right, so you did see the white, and you saw the burgundy, you saw the red, you saw the orange, you saw the black. Now I'm going to grab my sponge here, and I'm just going to do maybe a couple of quick little sponges onto my table towel just so you guys can see some of those other colors. And so this one is kind of that dusty, kind of a brick color. So kind of, you guys, I absolutely love this one. I think that one's going to be beautiful for the fall. That one's kind of like that one and the orange together is really reminding me of fall leaves. So that's going to be a really pretty combination. We've got, again, I'm cleaning out my sponge. We've got two different greens. We've got kind of a light sage green and then a little bit of a brighter green. So that light sage green, again, kind of a dusty color. Oh, that dusty green. And then a little bit of a brighter green. So you can see a little bit difference on there. And then again, you guys, make sure you're cleaning out your sponge in between so you don't get color from one container into the next. And then we've got our blues. Again, we've got that light dusty blue. And tap a little bit of that. Kind of that, like I said, dusty, almost a blue-gray, almost a blue-gray. And then our brighter blue, you guys absolutely love this bright blue. This one is so pretty. This one and the bright purple, absolutely love those together. So that really pretty bright blue. And as long as we're talking about it, let me show you the bright purple. Tap that in there, that bright purple. And again, you guys, I love that blue and purple together. I think that's a fantastic combination together. And then the last color that we've got is that lighter, kind of a, again, I'm going back to dusty, dusty, let's call it a dusty lilac. That's what I'm going to call it, a dusty lilac. So again, super, super pretty. Oh, let me get a little bit more on there. So you guys, all of these colors are going to come together as a kit. It's going to have the ombre sponges. It's going to have that little claw tool that I've been using here. It's going to have the pack of the masks for you. So it's going to be a great combination, great set of products for you. Let me show you our final looks on those nails. And there we are. So those are the new Ombré Pat Gels. And these are going to be available for you starting November 1st, at our Black Friday sale. We've got mystery boxes, we've got all kinds of great deals. Make sure to check out our video here on our YouTube channel to tell you everything that's going to be on sale, all of those great products, and make sure to join us November 1st. You guys, thank you so much for being with us today. Make sure that you subscribe to our channel so that you always know when we are going to be going live again. We're going to be showing all kinds of new products and new techniques and demos all the way through our Black Friday sale. So make sure you know when we are going live, and we'll see you guys back next time. Thanks, everybody.